Hey everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott, and it's time for the Almost Friday show for September 15th, 2011.
Kicking it off and off the press, we're taking a look at the new trailer for the Muppets movies. They've been doing a lot of trailers that are mimicking other trailers of movies that are coming out. And this one in particular is quite funny.
I'm all about the Muppets, and
Jason Segel.
Well, yeah, I was sold at Jason Segel's face. I was like, yeah, let's go see it. But no, all the Muppets movies have all been solid, and that it looks like they're putting a lot of effort and a lot of money into this one, because like
a lot of actors.
Yeah, everybody and their best friend from Hollywood is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like you can't. There's no one is not in it, so it looks pretty solid. Then we're going to Tech Insight, and we're telling you about Windows 8. We heard a lot of details, and the developer preview came out this week, and I actually downloaded it, like the crazy person I am, and played around with it a little. So Sean and I will tell you about that.
And in science this week, we are taking a look at NASA, and they are sending, I think, another rocket up into space or something?
A much larger, more powerful rocket. In fact, the most powerful
Those are
rocket,
always exciting things.
The most powerful
NASA
rocket,
and more powerful.
Yeah, ever conceived by man. So pretty exciting. Better than the Russians.
Yeah.
Because I guess we need to, I don't know.
We're Canadian. We sit in between the two and
We
just
don't-
hope that neither one of them misses.
We don't make rockets here in Canada,
Yeah.
so, you know. We're going behind the lens. We're talking about a new point and shoot from Canon and a somewhat mystical, but not really, upcoming announcement. Canon has announced their announcement.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you more about that.
Without further ado, it's time for Off the Press.
Welcome to Off the Press for this week. Off the top, a brand new trailer for a movie near and dear to our hearts.
It's a brand new, super exciting Muppets trailer. As they say right in the trailer, they haven't made a parody trailer in a couple of months. So, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, awesome trailer. Muppets trailer, hilarious and awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
The other trailers didn't, I was like, Muppets movie, cool, whatever. This actually made me want to see the Muppets movie.
See, on the other hand, I was sold as soon as I saw Jason Segel.
In the first parody trailer, the romantic comedy.
The romantic comedy. Actually, I was a little bit excited for the romantic comedy. And then,
because you love Jason Segel.
Yeah, sure. And yes, that's the reason.
Yes.
Yes. And then it got to the Muppets, and I was even more excited.
Yeah.
So the parody trailers are pretty cool.
They are really well made.
They are,
for
yes.
Sure.
They definitely seem to be putting a lot of attention to detail into this.
A lot of marketing dollars, that's for sure.
Like well-spent marketing dollars.
Very well spent.
Yeah, as opposed to...
They know their demographic. It's like, it's technically a kid's movie, but we're going to market to all the 20s and 30-somethings that watch this growing up that are really on the internet now.
That actually know what the Muppets really are.
So, good on you, Muppet Studios. You know your shit.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Coming to theaters November 23rd.
Yep.
So maybe there's time for one more parody trailer.
They'll probably release something the week before.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Speaking of movies coming to theaters, Star Trek 2 is most likely probably maybe a go, according to...
the rumor mill.
I believe Vanguard or Variety or someone that starts with a V. They said that J.J. Abrams is involved. Filming should be starting in winter, and it is not coming out January 2012, as was said in previous years.
Winter.
Yeah.
If it starts shooting,
It shoots
December.
Winter, obviously, but way back, I think just after the first one was released, J.J. Abrams was kind of not really too keen on a second one. That's why it was like January maybe, but now he's on pretty much for sure. So get ready for more Star Trek.
Be curious to see what happens with Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a lot to do there, but I kind of wanted more of
more Klingons.
or I wanted a mini-series as opposed to more movies.
Like a 8-episode HBO special or something.
Yeah, 8 to 15 episodes. I think you could do more with the characters there. We'll see.
Yeah.
JJ's in charge. I have faith.
More lens flares. I want Klingons, JJ. Make it happen.
Yeah, because he cut them all out of that other movie.
Bastards.
Speaking of Star Trek, TNG is now going to be coming to you soon in HD.
By the end of the year, there'll be at least a few episodes in full HD. What this means is that they'll be redoing all of the special effects.
So they're basically not just remastering the original episodes. They're actually going to scan the film, re-edit, recompile the special effects, which is the way that's what they did with TOS, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
Except I think, well, I've seen some of the Blu-rays, and the cheese is still there. So
They kept the cheese, which is good.
well, they had to.
Yeah. So the reason they're doing this is because obviously the special effects were all done for standard definition. They're not going to go out of their way to do it in Super HD. All the actors and anything they filmed is perfect for HD, but
Yeah, I mean, you can
Yeah.
scan film whatever resolution you want.
exactly.
That goes over pretty well.
And according to LeVar Burton's Twitter, these are actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but LeVar Burton really likes Star Trek TNG.
He really likes Star Trek, but he is also a good Twitterer
True,
because he
yes.
will let you know everything he's working on.
Yes.
Like the Captain Planet DVDs, he's doing voiceovers for that,
Yeah.
like the commentary.
So we're looking at that by the end of the year. Oh no, early next year, I guess, because if we're just seeing trials by the end
Yep.
of the year.
Early next year, hopefully they'll put it out on Netflix. Hopefully, it'll
Yes,
on the
there's
Canadian
rumors
Netflix.
of that. Well, we haven't gotten any of the Star Trek yet, and the Americans have all of it. So
I
get
thought
on
I
that.
thought we were supposed to get that in the fall.
Netflix Canada.
Fall's coming
Come on.
soon.
I want to watch Voyager again for whatever reason.
I've never finished DS9.
I've never finished Enterprise. Get with it.
See?
Now it's time for new releases.
Woo!
First up in movies, Drive.
Yep.
Never heard of it.
Quinn's pretty excited about this.
Woo!
Some guys in it. It looks pretty good. Seen the
Guy-
trailer.
Guys in a car, I guess.
Ryan Gosling.
So they're driving.
That's the one.
In cars.
I think there is driving involved, yes.
Guys in cars and Quinn's in.
Yeah. And pretty big week for DVD and Blu-ray this week. We have Star Wars, the complete saga.
Yes.
coming out.
Pretty excited for that. Thor came out, last Saturday?
No, it actually came out Tuesday, like a regular release.
Ah, look at that.
Haha.
Take a page of that, Sony.
Spartacus, Gods of the Arena, which is a prequel to the previous Spartacus series, came out this week. Apparently it's good.
And among all the TV that's coming out on DVD right now is Big Bang Theory Season 4. If you watch TV a lot and you want to buy the DVDs, September is like the month.
Oh my lord, like September, late August, everything is TV DVD releases. They're like one movie a week and then 5 TV
Yeah,
series.
Supernatural, new season just came out.
Oh, yeah, it came out this week as well.
Yeah, good prices at release
I
too.
think Fringe came out last week, so if
Yeah.
you're into that.
If you want to buy your TV on Blu-ray, try and get it as close to release as possible
Yep.
because the release day deals for the Blu-rays are
It's
like
usually release date to Friday.
yeah.
Most retailers start their new flyers on Friday, so it's release date to Friday.
Yeah, because my brother picked up the new season Supernatural on Blu-ray for
Yep.
like $30
And
or
oftentimes,
something.
if you look carefully enough, you can find like $5 coupons and stuff.
Yeah, so keep an eye out. It is that time of
So
the
we
year.
are saving you money on buying Blu-rays.
Yes. Next up in games, another NHL release. NHL 2012 is out for PS3 and 360.
This one is selling incredibly well, like all NHL games.
Another pretty hockey game. What can
Yep.
I say?
The Gunstringer for the Kinect,
Mm.
getting pretty good reviews actually for a sort of no-name title.
Good to see Kinect titles still shipping.
Definitely.
God of War: The Origins Collection for PS3.
This is basically a remastering of the PSP games, the two of them.
They're good games. I
Ghost
played
of
them
Sparta
both.
and what's the other one?
Chains of Olympus.
That's the one.
Yep.
And finally, White Knight Chronicles 2 for you JRPG fans.
Yeah.
The trailer looks pretty, but all JRPGs look pretty, but gameplay,
Yeah. Let's not pick that one.
no. At least you're pretty, you know.
That's it from Off the Press this week.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight. Before we get into our regular topics, I just wanted to update people that I got a chance to have a hands-on with the Sony S1. The Sony store here in Ottawa had one on display, which we have to add. Most of these companies, when they have a tablet, the time you get to play with the tablet is when they actually make it to the store,
Yes.
and the store puts it on demo. But Sony's had theirs on demo for, I think, a couple of days now, maybe about half a week or so, and they've got a big sign in front of it saying pre-order this, which is the smart way of doing it, because people come in and like, oh, I like this, I will pre-order it, as opposed to being like, should I pre-order it, am I going to like it, So I got a chance to play with it, and you know what? I'm really impressed. It's quite light. People were saying it's plasticky, and yes, it is plasticky, but it also is light because it's plasticky and not made of metal.
Well, and that's what most Android tablets are taking the book of. Metal's nice, but
It's heavy. The curved design, the sort of door stopper design of it's actually really comfortable to hold if you are using it sort of in that magazine format. And when you're holding it sideways, the sort of inside grooves fit nicely where your hands are, and all the buttons are right there in those corners. So when you are using it, you have quick access to it. A couple things I really liked is most of the time when I've played with Android tablets, I've been less than impressed with the actual performance of Android Honeycomb on these devices as far as flipping through pages and doing things. It's always been a little bit of a delay between what I touch and when it happens. And the Sony tablet is the first one that I could swipe through quite fluidly. Nice and snappy. Everything opened and ran like it should have, and I was seeing performance that I was getting with my iPad as far as the each individual app opening and all that kind of stuff. The screen on it's very nice. It's using Sony's True Black technology. Watched a couple of trailers. I would say it's better than what my iPad 2 has. So if you are looking for something as a media device, I think it's a really great option. Now, we talked about their special connectivity functionality, and what we initially thought, and what I think a lot of people assume based on the limited press that it got as a function, was that you could communicate with your Sony products.
Yeah, which, I mean, we've seen products like that before, where,
Absolutely.
My JVC remote, if I connect all my things, will control all. I mean, that's been around since the 90s, and it's always been brand specific.
Yes. But when we were in there, we learned that it will actually communicate with pretty much anything with an RF signal. And what happens is you go into it's very easy to set up. Scott and I both have Logitech Harmony remotes, and we love the remotes when you're using them.
Once they're set up.
But getting them set up is a pain. And this one's really easy. You just you queue it up, and it shows you a television, a Blu-ray player, a home theater system, and you go, okay, I've got a television. You click a plus sign, and then you choose a manufacturer, and then all the current models available and past models are going to be there. You'll be able to choose one, and then it's going to sync and send that information. So you can actually use it with your Samsung television and your Panasonic Blu-ray player and your Yamaha home theater system. You don't need to have Sony products to use the S1 as a media remote, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah.
And it definitely adds more functionality.
That's something
to your device.
I've always wanted on my iPhone or, my touchpad or anything like that is, I've already got this in my hand. Why can I not just change the channel?
Well, I mean, especially considering if you look at Logitech's color screen remotes, the bigger ones for the home theater setup, they're $600-700 remotes. This tablet is cheaper, and it's a computer.
Like low end, a Logitech touchscreen remote with the big screen is like $480.
Yeah.
And it's very slow if you try to cycle between screens and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely. The audio was loud, but I found it was kind of plasticky sounding. It wasn't. It was louder than my iPad, but not as clear as my iPad. And I would still say that the touchpad is the nicest for audio.
The touchpad is one of the best I've heard. Yeah.
So overall, I really liked it. I think it's the first time I've been impressed with an Android tablet, and I think Sony's doing a good job at marketing by having these in the store for people to play with before they throw down their money on a pre-order.
I think that I would never have predicted Sony to bring something.
Agreed.
Not good. I knew they were making something, but to bring something like almost better than the rest to the market.
I wouldn't have assumed Sony was going to be the first one to make a tablet. You go, this is a good Android tablet.
Except if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they've had PC division forever that's semi-successful.
They've been making Xperia phones for a while. They're familiar with Android as an operating
system.
system.
They actually still make their own displays.
Yep.
Or at least design their own displays, which Apple doesn't make displays.
Yeah.
Samsung can't use their best displays because they sell them to Apple.
Yeah.
So, Sony's TVs are, while overpriced, are gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good fit, and I look forward to more products like this from Sony.
Absolutely. So if you're thinking of checking out an S1, please go take a look at it. I think it's a good product. If you're here in Ottawa, you can go to the Sony store at Bayshore Mall and check one out. They have one on display. And now I'm going to tag in Sean, and he's going to talk about some Netflix and Windows 8 news with Scott. Tag, you're in.
Hello, sir. Howdy. Top of the line, you will... oh, no, you switched back. Sam will appreciate this. They finally figured out Netflix on Androids.
Yay!
Just as you've switched back to the iPhone 4, Netflix is now available for all flavors of Android running Froyo or better.
All right, well, my old phone would have done it anyway.
So that's good to have that worked out.
Yeah, because frankly, Netflix has actually just been getting better.
Well, especially the selection in Canada gets... It's not... We get this big dump, and then all the stuff's good, but the dumps need to be more...
There's a lot of crap.
Oh, yeah.
But...
You can get around it.
Yeah, you can still find the gems in there, and they actually are gems.
So if you're running Froyo or Gingerbread on your Android phone, you can get Netflix now. Huh. If you buy a new one, you're good to go. I don't think they're selling anything unless it's those really cheap, like $10 phones.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you buy a new smart Android phone, you'll be able to run Netflix, which is good news for Android. The only thing I want to comment on this, not very exciting, but Netflix, why didn't you just figure this all out and then launch your app if it was possible? Because then you wouldn't have stabbed Google in the face and shown their awful fragmentation that you clearly solved. They're not different editions of the app anymore either. There's one edition of the app for Android phones running Froyo or better. Why couldn't you have launched gracefully? I don't get it. It's not worth it to get those extra 15 people on there 6 months earlier.
Developers.
Thanks, Steve. Next up, something exciting that you will enjoy, sir.
Yeah, Thunderbolt is coming to Windows, man.
Yes, that's right. Intel made Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Apple's just the first one to jump on board.
Incidentally, Intel also made USB 3, and so this is actually kind of interesting.
I think they're different.
They are different.
That's what I think.
They're absolutely different, but the fact, because I've seen USB 3 products coming out, I've tested a couple
They're
at
good.
work.
They're very
they're
fast.
quite good, actually. I'm very impressed with them. However, you can't argue with the spec that is Thunderbolt.
10 gigabits.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of people, PC users, asking, is it ever going to come to Windows? And I'm sitting there going, probably not.
So,
No, it is.
good news. First of all, Intel's announced a bunch of chipsets for Thunderbolt.
Oh, good.
So PC chipsets for Thunderbolt, which is what we needed basically to get it going hardware-wise.
Yep.
So that's great. And they've announced Windows compatibility by 2012.
That's good.
So, the PC operating system, Linux will figure it out itself, I'm sure.
So what we're probably looking at then is we're probably going to be seeing this integrated with the socket 2011. The next
Likely. You're going to see it on
revision.
your next-gen motherboards. You'll
Yeah.
probably see... I don't know, that's a lot of bandwidth. You might not see PCIe breakout cards.
There's a chance that they would probably be able to do it, but it would be
16X or
limited.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
limited.
good news. At first I didn't really care, but now I think Thunderbolt's definitely going to be. It's going to have a place in the market. Important
Definitely
thing to
will.
note: it's still going to be called Thunderbolt. That is the name of the technology. It is not a crazy Apple thing,
Yeah.
which is good.
So there's going to be no patents going on with this one.
Well, it's all Intel.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm happy about that because
Yeah.
I didn't want to have another stupid dispute where someone's going to be saying we used it first, get that out of the market.
And I think what you'll
So-
see is as soon as this is on every laptop, you're going to see a lot more hard drives supporting Thunderbolt.
You'll have-
because right now you're seeing only pro-end devices.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is good. They should use the giant bandwidth, but
I think what's going to happen is we're going to see like they've already done for Mac, which is give you that breakout box for the PCI
That's gonna look
Express.
good, yeah.
I think that is going to be perfect because that means if you get hopefully a mid-range, low-end laptop that doesn't have a dedicated graphics card for whatever you're going to use it for, that is
Yeah.
perfect. We've seen this before, but it required the clunky,
Yeah.
big, chunky stuff before. This is simple. It's
and I think
hopefully going to be good.
where you're really going to see this more is ultrabooks, which have been a big topic. Think MacBook Air. There aren't a lot of competitors right now. Samsung's got a few.
Yeah.
You got a tiny laptop, not super powerful, but good to go on the go.
Yep.
Come back, Thunderbolt in. You could put extra processing power. You could put GPUs. You could put whatever you want in a little box. So you've got one computer that's a powerhouse at home and good on the road.
I bet you will probably find Lenovo or IBM coming out with systems very soon. As soon as they get the chipset worked out and the Windows compatibility work out, you'll find probably Lenovo will be the first one to throw it into their ThinkPads.
It looks good. So I'm happy to see Thunderbolt moving on, and hopefully we'll see some more accessories.
Absolutely.
Next up, we're going to talk Windows 8. So Microsoft had their build conference this week. Intel had a big announcement and conference, things like that. There's been a lot of talk about Windows 8. Night before last, the developer preview released to the public, which I swiftly downloaded. Very quickly, thank you, Microsoft, for not crashing your servers. I was downloading at 2 megabytes a second.
I think they got it down this time.
Yeah, so over 500,000 people downloaded it.
Yeah, and
Which, if you take out the devs, that's still a couple 100,000 of like random people like me.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Windows 8's gonna be a game changer in terms of Windows. Not like Vista was. Not like Windows 7 is a great OS, but it wasn't a big step forward. We're talking like Windows 95 kind of step.
Yeah, like we're looking at I don't even really know how to really put it. Like Scott said it best, Windows 95 kind of step because they were saying they wanted to make Windows 8 for tablets. They wanted to make it for every device.
That's their big thing.
This
Windows
is going
8
to do it.
for everything.
And it's going to do it. Scott toyed around with it on his PC. I've got a coworker who played with it on his tablet notebook, and it worked beautifully, seamless, quick. That was the biggest thing. This thing was so snappy.
Yeah. So
there's a couple things that were missing.
Well, dev preview though.
Exactly.
So that's what
But-
I want to put out right now. The stuff we're all talking about is the stuff out of the development preview. Windows 8's not coming out for over a year. Mm-hmm. So if you're, this doesn't work and this crashed, it's a pre-beta.
Yeah.
This isn't even beta testing yet. So, they're
This
basically
is-
giving us a glimpse.
This is the in-between alpha and beta,
So-
literally.
Yeah. So what? Let's talk through a little bit. what they're calling the Metro UI.
Yeah.
Now this is essentially, think Windows Phone style
Mm-hmm.
with the kind of infinite pages and the tiling. I think it looks refreshing. Just like Windows Phone when we first saw it, it wasn't quite Apple,
Mm-hmm.
but it was much nicer than, say, an Android kind of interface.
Yeah.
It's-
Everything fits, everything's smooth, everything shows as it should.
It's simple.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you like the colorfulness or not. I don't mind it. I think it's a little cheesy, but it does separate everything else very nicely.
And even then, I'm sure there's going to be all sorts to change it.
Yeah, for sure. So that's your. So the first thing you get, no matter what, is your Metro UI, and this is your touch-centric UI. Looks good, very Windows Phone-esque. Widgets built into the panels, so it'll show you your local weather, it'll show you your stocks, it'll cycle, it'll have
And it's
news.
really good for that.
Now what they're really pushing is apps for the Metro UI, which apparently are really easy to code. I'm not a developer, but apparently they're really easy to code, really easy to sell because they've got their Windows App Store, which is great because it's selling the Metro UI apps as well as traditional Windows apps.
I was going to say they've kind of done the Apple model here in the sense of we're going to take our application store, we're just going to condense it.
Except it's kind of like the Mac App Store and the iOS App Store are the same now.
Yeah.
That's more of what this is because here you're seeing Apple took the phone and adapted it to tablet. Microsoft took the desktop and adapted it to tablet. But their phone looks similar, which I think is I don't know. We don't know if it's better or not yet, but definitely interesting. So Metro looks really nice. You don't have to use it. If you're sitting there at your desktop, you don't have to click on these giant colored squares. You can go to the traditional Windows desktop. Looks very similar to Windows 7. The start menu is a little different. I don't like the new Explorer.
Yeah,
There's a big band on top with like 1,001 buttons. It's taken the ribbon, just like from Office, which I loved in Office.
They're applying it to everything. They said they were going to just do that.
Yes.
They were going to push it into everything because it just fit. And it does in certain areas.
I'm sure it works fine, but I don't need 1,000,001 buttons when I'm browsing my files.
Yeah.
Now, there's a nicer stripped-down file browser within Metro, which is good because it's accessing the same folders and that, but it's a little cleaner.
I think you made the point, and I do agree, especially after doing the toying around with trying to find files. They kind of want you to use the Metro a lot more.
I think what you're seeing here is the Metro UI is for your web browsing. It's got a custom-built version of IE specifically for touch.
Yep.
It's going to be for your entertainment, music, videos.
It's just quick access.
Information.
It's your best shortcuts.
Yeah. And then basically that's the Windows 8 they want to sell you. And then the fact that it does everything else is kind of just a backup feature.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still going to want Enterprise to upgrade to Windows 8 at some point, but you won't ship it with Metro kind of thing. Windows is always the guy to ship like 1,001 versions of their OS.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'll see a Pro version with Metro disabled, and I'm sure you'll see a Metro version with the Pro hidden and things like that.
I was going to say, probably the home premium sort of thing will have the Metro, the home basic will not, and all of that.
We'll find out later on. This is some
speculative
time off.
Right now, anyway.
So Metro looks really good.
Yeah.
There's been some controversy about Internet Explorer. I want to get it out of the way right away. There's two versions of IE10. That's the new. It's going to be 10 for Windows 8. The one version, just the normal version of IE10. You can put Flash in there. You can put all your toolbars, whatever you want, all the plugins. That's in the Pro side of things. So it's going to look like a normal window. You're going to see your taskbar. It's not for touch. It's for your Pro side, normal Windows kind of environment.
And that makes sense.
Now they've had another version of IE10 that's for the Metro UI.
Okay.
Now this looks really sleek. Looks exactly same kind of motif as the Metro, built for touch. It looks really nice. There's lots of demos and stuff you can go check out that look really cool. No Flash, no plugins whatsoever.
As of yet, though.
No, they will not support it.
Really?
Period. That's how they're designing it. They're taking a page right out of mobile Safari. They're going HTML5 optimized.
Gotcha.
And to be honest with you, I think for a touch browser, not a bad plan. You're going to save battery life. I mean, Flash, no matter how you run it, is not efficient.
It's pretty hefty. It likes to suck up a lot of power.
You don't want to have this crazy external Java thing running. You can run it more efficiently So I think what they took a big poll of all these websites, the top whatever websites of traffic, and do they need Flash and things like that. I mean, I think you're going to see this push towards HTML5 and no matter what.
to your point, though, just thinking about it, if Microsoft jumps on that bandwagon of going to HTML5,
Big push.
that's going to be a big push.
Yeah, because I mean, Mac can do whatever they want, but there's still a tiny sliver.
Yeah.
But if a lot of people buy into Windows 8, especially with tablets, and if I'm using it on my tablet, I'm not using the Pro browser. I'm using the Metro browser.
I was going to say, the tablet version, when you switch into, I guess we'll call it Pro version, you get like the old Windows desktop. It looks like Windows 7
It looks
desktop.
like Windows 7, yeah.
So, I mean, it's easy to get around if you've used it. But it is a little bit harder to work with.
Well, especially in touchscreen. It's like using a Windows 7 tablet now. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Which is why they've gone out of their way.
I'm actually thinking, you know what I'll do? I'll download it, put it on the libretto, we'll see how that runs.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That's how it looks. I'm pretty excited for it. Little things. They made it more efficient again. Much faster boot times due to the way it's not really booting. Once you boot once, it's like partial sleep, partial hibernate, partial boot.
Yeah.
But in a way that maximizes speed without compromising anything. I'll trust Microsoft on that if it took them this long to do it.
Yeah, and we were actually fooling around with that last night, me and my coworker, and there are ways of actually shutting off
Yeah, of course.
and having a full reboot, because, I mean, eventually memory fills up.
Yeah.
It does. It's unfortunately a sad fact. But honestly, I've not seen a sleep or a hibernate work so efficiently. This is quite good.
Yeah. You're seeing a lot of performance increases. So out of the box on the same machine, it's faster than Windows 7.
Yep.
Which is the second time in a row Microsoft's done that, and it's the only 2 times they've ever done that. So your current hardware will run Windows 8.
Yep.
Better than it runs Windows 7. So that's pretty cool. They've really kind of actually gotten down to what makes Windows tick lately, finally. So that's really cool. Lots of minor changes, like we said. The Explorer is really different. Task Manager is different.
Well,
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Gives you a little more information. Big integration with their cloud services with LiveSync.
yeah, and that I'm really excited for.
So they've got integration, and it's going to be integration like you see on Windows Phone 7. So you're going to see SkyDrive's integrated, live photos, Facebook's going to be tightly integrated, Twitter's going to be tightly integrated.
And that's all going to be cool coming out of Metro. You get all your stuff right
Well, that's
there.
the thing, and if they do integration like they did in Windows Phone 7 Mango, that's going to look really good. So I'm pretty excited for Windows 8. I'm going to play around with it some more, give you guys maybe a small extra video or something with some features. I think this could be the best competitor to the iPad.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to see it going forward, tablets.
Yeah, I just want to see it actually come out in a different way. I'm going to get a hold of it and try it out myself as well.
So hopefully by the end of next year we'll see some Windows 8 tablets. Pretty exciting. If not, you can download the developer preview. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to play around with it yourself. Please install it in a VM or an extra machine. Do not make this your primary OS. It's a dev preview.
You'll have problems.
Yeah. That's it for Tech Insight this week.
It's kind of alive! Nah, it's still dead.
Oh. Hi everyone, welcome to Mad Science for this week, and boy, do we start this off with some actual really mad
We
stuff.
are taking this back, way back, to dinosaurs. Yay!
Everyone likes dinosaurs.
Yep, so a group of paleontologists recently announced the results of an extensive study on feathers found in amber. That happens to be Canadian, so is our Canadian content of the week. Basically, they just showed the evolution of feathers, because it wasn't known until fairly recently that dinosaurs had feathers.
Okay.
More specific, or the ones that are most known to have feathers are raptors and things relating to raptors. So basically what this means is that, yes, dinosaurs most definitely did have feathers, but they didn't quite look like what we know as feathers today.
Yeah, they seem kind of thin and spindly.
Very much, there were hairs with little tiny hairs growing out of it, not like hairs with lots of hairs growing out of it.
Interesting.
Although those were around, but a little bit later than the earlier ones.
Well, that's interesting. So, we're going to get this out of the way quickly. No Jurassic Park for you.
No, because there's not enough DNA material and they are too old.
Yeah, it wouldn't survive. I mean, most DNA that you would get from, like, if you did the Jurassic Park thing, you can't get DNA from the blood that is that old. It would have died. I mean,
exactly.
DNA blood dies really quickly anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I hate to be the party pooper on that kind of mad science, but I've never understood why you want dinosaurs back, but we'll not get there.
Minor details.
But just the same, though, the fact that we're finding more pieces of this puzzle is
The
really, really
dinosaurs
cool.
are pretty much a mystery. What we know of dinosaurs to look like now are
It's
very
pure speculation.
much an artist rendition of dinosaurs.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we tried to piece it together from what we had,
Yeah.
which was bones, but we don't really know
hundreds
it.
of years of bones.
Yeah, but really, and small bits of skin that we did
Yeah.
find.
Because
So-
skin, we only know the texture of the skin. We're not really sure of the color.
Yeah, fossilization kind of takes the color out of things.
More minor details, Sean. If you want to check out these really cool pictures, actually, just head on over to our show notes, or just head on over to IO9. They've got the article up.
Cool.
Pretty sweet.
And then kicking it from prehistoric Earth back into space with the wormhole that we obviously went through.
Clearly.
NASA's released or unveiled, I should say, their new rocket. It's very rockety.
It is
It's huge.
It's called the Space Launch System.
Yeah, and it will definitely launch things into space.
Yep.
It weighs, what was it there? Range from 70 to 130 metric tons.
Yep.
That is heavy.
No,
Uh,
that's actually the weight it can pull up
Yeah.
into space. That's not including the
I-
actual weight of everything
The actual
else.
rocket. The fact that it
Yep.
can put that up is a hell of a lot of force
Mhm.
in a downward direction. Because, it's a vector. We're going to go with that.
Sure. So
Mind you, it's only a kilogram. You don't
the
have to use-
reason they're building this huge rocket is because they want to go to Mars now.
And that kind of makes sense because everyone was sitting
Yeah.
there saying, well, how are we going to do it? We can't use a shuttle.
No,
Um,
there's not enough fuel, not enough
and
cargo.
this thing is going to be able to do that. Well, it's based on the Saturn,
Yep.
Saturn V. So it looks kind of similar, just
Mhm.
the old spindly looking rocket. Except, what was it that it was using? It's using the, RS-25 main engines from the shuttle.
Yep. So
And then
they're-
it's using
they're-
the big one.
For now, they are reusing some shuttle parts just to get things started, and a lot of the design is inspired by
Mhm.
what's being used on the shuttle today, which really makes sense. If you're going to put years and years and years of research into something, you might as well just keep using,
Absolutely. And they have
bring it
and-
forward, but, reuse it.
Yeah, and they can do that. I mean, they have the stuff sitting around, so
Yeah,
why not?
Like, we have this lying around, might as well fix this up, see what we can do with it.
Yeah, give it a little bit of a refurb. But this is the best thing is its range. So yes, Scott made a really great point, and that is the Americans are going to have the only vehicle
Yeah.
which can get beyond the moon and actually ferry a person or persons to get to another planet.
It'd be very boring if it was just the one person.
Oh, they'd probably go insane, but we won't get into that.
Minor details.
We'll give them the
Again,
internet. We'll beam them the internet through space.
That might be difficult.
It can be done. It'd be very slow.
It'd be very slow. It'd take like 7 minutes to load Google.
And then the further away you get, even longer.
10 minutes to load Google. Ugh.
We'll try and work that
Worse
detail
than
out.
dial-up.
Let's not go there. But anyway, so the fact that they've come out with a new device or a new vehicle is great.
Yeah.
We already knew there was always speculation that they were going to get away from the whole shuttle thing, the plane-ish thing, and go with the old rocket design because it was more efficient.
It is.
I mean, you have less air resistance because the thing is this, wide in comparison to that wide. So the fact that it's able to put out so much friggin' thrust power is just amazing. The force that's coming out of this thing. Anything goes into space anyway.
Yeah.
So check it out in the show notes if you want some more. So they are calling this the Deep Space Exploration Vehicle.
I believe we have 3 links in the show notes
Yeah,
for this article.
we tried to get as many as possible because this is actually really big
It's cool.
in the news sense and in the physical sense.
I see what you did there.
Yep, clever.
And now let's make it all disappear.
I was gonna say, so I like this. This is by far one of my favorites.
This is kind of really awesome. So, have you ever had something that you kind of want to hide, but it's much too big to you stick it in a corner and throw a sheet over it?
Every one of my killbots.
So now you can hide your killbots.
I don't have to use my sheet.
No, you can actually use a system of hexagonal panels.
But I use my sheet.
A couple of inches thick, or not thick, sorry, a couple of inches big. You'll need a lot of them, though.
Yeah, so coming out of BAE Systems, they've created the Adaptive, that's with a V, cloaking system, which
Yep.
has been used right now or demonstrated on a tank. I believe it is an Abrams.
Yep.
So they're using an M1A1 Abrams tank. This is actually kind of cool.
It is.
Here's the thing. It basically renders the tank invisible in infrared light. So if you're doing a night mission and and people are looking for you with infrared light or infrared scopes, this tank can actually just disappear.
Yeah, so how it works is that these little hexagonal panels basically change temperature very
quick.
rapidly.
Very quick.
So you can look like a car, you can look like a cow, you can
Big
look like a
rock.
big rock, anything you
Simply
you can draw with your little panels.
Yeah, and there's a video, of course, attached into the article, and they have their logo going by, BAE Systems in infrared.
That's clever.
It is really clever, and it looks really neat. The fact that this thing can look like a car, a cow, a rock, whatever you want it to look like, that fits inside of the tank.
Yeah, as long as it's about the size of a tank or smaller, it can do that.
Yeah, and or it just vanishes.
Yep.
It can vanish into the background, and it's pretty good. You have to look really, really hard to actually even see its outline.
Yeah.
So once again, this is only an infrared light. This isn't through visible light
Yeah,
as
and
we
it's-
know it.
And I believe it's only on the one tank right now,
Yeah,
just for trials.
It's kind of a trial.
Yeah.
But it's a damn good trial.
Not my only concern, one of the biggest concerns that pops into mind immediately is the weight. 'Cause these things can't be very light.
Yeah,
Now,
they don't
tanks are already
mention that.
really heavy, but they do try to do weight saving on tanks because
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It is only able.
baby
I mean,
steps.
yeah, the tiles are about yay big.
Yeah,
So
they're about 6 inches, I believe.
yeah, 6-7 inches in diameter. So they're pretty big. They might be pretty hefty. We don't know what the material is, of
No.
course. We don't know what they're using. They won't tell us that.
Not
they,
yet,
They
no.
never will.
Not until we can start putting it on our Priuses.
That'd be neat.
Pre-eye.
Pre-eye. Sorry.
So they don't. But you make a good point. They don't really say the downsides
Yeah.
of the system,
It'll
but
be
you're
cost
trying to sell
and
it,
weight in that order.
and they are trying to sell it, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. But the fact that it has the advanced disguise capabilities
Yes,
is
cool.
great because it actually looked like a small little
Yeah.
hatchback, and it looked like it. Like
But
the
what
wheels
is a
had the
small
outline.
hatchback doing in the middle of the bush?
Details,
All right.
minor details.
Okay.
Anyway, so that wraps up with science this week. So now we have ways of cloaking those robots.
Excellent.
Hey everybody, welcome behind the lens for this week. First up, we're talking about the new power shot from Canon, the S100.
Yes, so the S100 is a new replacement to the S95, which is a very popular camera in Canon's lineup, and we've recommended it for a long time. That and the Olympus XZ1 have always been our top choices for the prosumer point and shoot.
And this seems to be some actually promising upgrades. Like nothing to write home about, but
Well, the thing is that with the S90, when it went to the S95, they really didn't add much. They gave us some 720p video, and that's about where the changes stopped.
aka they enabled it in the software and shipped more cameras.
Yeah. So this one actually is got a pretty substantial amount of changes. This one and the also announced SX40 are the first point-and-shoot cameras to be running the new Digic 5 processor, which is their new processor. It's supposed to be much faster. As well, they've put a CMOS sensor in this camera, where the previous version had a CCD sensor. Now, what a CMOS sensor brings to the table is that it's better at low light. Now, they have upped the megapixels from 10 to 12, but they haven't gone to 14, which means they're still staying conservative. And they've also made the lens a little bit longer. It was a 3.8 times optical zoom on the S95. It's now 5 times optical zoom. And it stays at f2 on the wide end, and they made it a bit wider at 24 millimeters instead of 28 millimeters now. So they're giving you a better range on the lens. Now, admittedly, at the 120 millimeter 5x zoom, it's at f5.9, which really isn't that bright.
But it's it is fairly compact.
Absolutely, and that is the sacrifice. So they're giving you 5 times zoom lens, you're getting a 12 megapixel CMOS sensor, and now you're also getting 1080p at 24 frames per second,
Not
which
bad.
is a nice little function. And they've also put a GPS chip in it, which, I'm mostly against GPS chips, but the thing about something like the S95, which is now the S100, is these were cameras that people were taking on vacations instead of their SLRs. And so if you weren't, there was 2 types of cameras you'd take on vacation: a waterproof camera because you were going to Cancun or Mexico or something like that, or a performance point and shoot for pretty much anywhere else. So having a GPS chip in a performance point and shoot, I think, makes sense because you are going to use it when you're out on vacation.
It's I don't think it makes sense in those $100 jobby kind of things,
No.
but the higher end point and shoots, I totally agree.
So you're also looking at faster frames per second. The other one was at 0.6 frames per second. This one's now 2.3 frames per second for continuous shooting.
Significant
It's a little,
increase.
which is part of that Digic 5 processor.
Yeah, for sure.
But then they've also got a mode that you can go into where you can shoot at I believe it's 6 frames per second for 8 frames. But you can only do it for those 8 frames, and it's all automatic. But if you do need that burst mode because there's some action that you know is going to happen,
yeah.
you do have it, which is nice. So I think this is looking really promising. A little bit of a redesign to the aesthetics as well. You still have the adjustable ring on the front, but you got a grip now, which is something that a lot of people are actually going out and buying third-party little aftermarket grips to put on the front. So they've put that there. And also, if you weren't set on the black that the S90 and the S95 came in, this one now comes in black as well as a sort of silver titanium color. So you have 2 colors to choose from. I'm looking forward to being able to bring this on the show. I think it's going to be a really promising camera. And it does show that Canon is now thinking, okay, what is the reasonable upgrade? So 1080p, a little bit more zoom, better low light capability, GPS chip. Sounds like a good amount of upgrades to me.
You're not throwing in, as many megapixels as you can and all this kind of crazy stuff. It's solid. Yeah.
On the other hand, the SX40 didn't change a whole lot over the SX30. And we were talking about it. The SX30 was announced September 14th, 2010.
About a year ago.
A year and 1 day previous to this camera. So we are running on cycles, that's for sure. They have changed to a CMOS sensor on this camera, which the other one was CCD. So again, we are going to see better low light performance because of that. They're both using Canon's HS sensor, which is their new high sensitivity sensor that you can see in a couple of the other entry level lines. This is one of only 2 sensors that's ever been made in-house at Canon. They had a sensor in their SX1 a way back, which had their own homebrewed sensor, and these are the first ones since then to have their own stuff. So it is a good sensor. They are standing behind it, so we're seeing 12 megapixels, which is nice because it's a 2 megapixel reduction over the previous one, which is also going to help with low light. So same 12 megapixel CMOS sensor, although arguably smaller sensor size than what's in the S100, but you're getting that same 1080 24p. Other than that, not much else has changed. It's still 35 times optical zoom, so 1x under the Nikon P500, which is currently class leading at 36. And it's bigger and heavier.
Really?
Yeah.
It's already quite...
Well, I mean, it's bigger and heavier than the P500.
Oh, okay.
It's probably going to be exactly the same size as the SX30 because it looks
fairly
identical.
Large.
It is a big camera.
But I mean, if you're looking high zoom, I guess they have to be.
If you wanted 1080 24p and 12 megapixels and a CMOS sensor and you didn't feel like buying Nikon, the SX40 is a good option for you. But honestly, obviously we haven't tested it, so I don't know what image quality is like. But if it performs similarly to the P500, in my opinion, would still be the better choice.
So if you're a Canon shooter and you just need that high zoom camera.
If you're a Canon filmmaker...
Which there are many of with the 5D Mark II and things like that. There is some interesting news coming. And so Canon made an announcement about an announcement. Yes, which is, I think, very... took a page right out of Steve Jobs.
Well, that's the thing, is that they are playing the card of, hey, you wanted to go and buy that Panasonic AF100 or that Sony FS100? You should wait, because we've got something coming. Not telling you what, but we'll tell you when. So November 3rd
and where
of this year in Hollywood, California, surprise, surprise, on Paramount Studios lot. I think if this is anything other than video related, it really doesn't. The new printers.
Yeah, they're going to show up and announce like a wide format.
Paramount has bought 100,000 of their new printers, and so they really wanted to do the printer launch.
It's going to be a monochrome laser too. I can feel it.
Yeah, it'll copy at 300 pages per minute.
That's pretty good. That's like really good.
Well, they did say it's a historical. It's a historical event. Those are their exact words. So I mean, there's been some speculation as to what we'll see. The 2 really obvious choices is a 5D Mark III or a Super 35 size interchangeable lens video camera akin to Sony's F3 and Panasonic's AF100 and the FS3, probably somewhere in a 10 to 15 grand price range. Both of those options are really good.
Either is going to be pretty exciting.
Because the thing is that because of how popular shooting video with Canon cameras has become, we have a lot of people that have invested good money in Canon glass.
Yes, absolutely.
And they've been struggling to be able to use that glass on Sony and Panasonic and Nikon. Mostly because Canon lenses are completely computer controlled, which means that you cannot adjust the aperture with an adapter, and you obviously don't have autofocus and image stabilization and all that stuff. But the aperture is the big one, because if you've got a lens that's at f1.4, you can only ever shoot at f1.4. which makes things difficult.
Yes.
So having an interchangeable lens video camera that's going to work with that EF mount is definitely something a lot of people are going to want.
Yeah, especially some people are starting to find the limits of the 5D Mark II.
And Canon makes really good video cameras. Their XF100 series and their XF300 series now are really quite strong competitors in the market, offering 50 megabit, which is sort of broadcast standard at a price point that no one else is offering. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. The other speculation, obviously, is that we might see a 5D Mark III. Now, the 5D Mark III is still going to be a stills camera first.
Absolutely.
But there's been some interesting talk about what they could do to support a video market, which would be the idea of making what would normally be a battery grip, but a battery grip that instead has proper HDMI out, HDSDI, headphone monitoring, XLRs in. Put all of those functions and controls that stills photographers have absolutely no need for onto a grip that you would sell after the fact. Which would make sense because you could go out and sell your 5D Mark III for $2,500 to $3,000, and you're going to sell it to all kinds of wedding photographers that are going to be super happy about it, and it'll still shoot good video out of the box. But then you sell this grip for $1,000 or $1,500, and you will get tons of video professionals that will drop $1,000 on the grip that gives them all the features that they need. And, ultimately, there's room in the grip to put some extra processing power, which means that maybe once you plug that grip on, you might get better color sampling or a higher data rate or things like that. So it'd be really interesting to see them build a modular system like that. It would make a whole lot of sense.
I think, because then you don't have to segregate your market.
Absolutely.
You can still appease your still shooters.
Someone's going to go out and buy a 5D Mark III. They're going to shoot stills for a year and go, you know what, I'm really interested in video. $1,000, and there you go. Now you got it.
And you can start out of the box, right? And then if you start needing more, pop it on. But they're going to sell a pile if, should this kind of system exist. A bunch of people are just going to go buy both right off the bat because so many people have been shooting with 5D Mark IIs that they would take any chance to upgrade to something like that. So
absolutely. Now, again, this is all speculation. This is what
absolutely.
people have been swirling around the Twitterverse and,
This is what we'd like to
and
see.
our own opinions of what we would like to see. So maybe we're going to see a whole bunch of printers, but that doesn't seem likely. Monochrome.
Guaranteed.
Fast printers. So November 3rd, 2011. Mark that date on your calendar, and check out what Canon is going to bring to the table, hopefully in the video market.
And we'll obviously inform you as soon as we can after the announcement on the show.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the end of Behind the Lens for this week.
And that's it for the show this week. As always, if you want to contact us, you can do so via email at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
Or you can hit us up at Twitter at @almost_Friday. Tell us what you think Canon's announcement's going to be about.
I'm still banking on monochrome printers. If you agree with me, almost at Almost Friday.
Or if you think that they're going to invent an entirely new line of skidoo accessories.
Which, to be honest, would be fantastic. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone skidooing and needed like a Canon rear view mirror.
Or that Canon high horsepower motor.
Absolutely.
It's historical. Maybe Canon has decided that they're no longer going to be a camera.
Well, you know
company.
what? My Yamaha outboard needs to be up.
Let's
10
put
horses
some
isn't quite
Canon
enough.
mechanics in there.
I could go for a Canon 24 horsepower.
I want that motor that also does color copy.
Can I get a CMOS 24 horsepower?
Absolutely.
Get it. Bank it.